that he would not hesitate to give up the claim on the island, that he doesn't like such matters pending indefinitely and being raised in Parliament again and again. But he also goes on to say, and I quote from this note on 10/5/1961, "It is true that with the present conditions in Ceylon as they are, this is not the right time to raise this matter further with them." And the conditions were that there was internal disturbances in Ceylon at that time. Now, another note of Y.D. Gundevia, who was Foreign Secretary under Jawaharlal Nehru and Lal Bahadur Shastri, shows how he told the government of the day in 1961 that he would not risk giving up the island given the present climate himself. He also called this island an uninhabited little cluster of rocks and sand with the ruins of a Christian church on it, and an island that is not really important to anybody except sometimes as a refuge for fishermen and illicit immigrants. So this was the view, larger view of the bureaucracy and the government of the time. Finally, the DMK is also singed with this RTI because it shows how then Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Karunanidhi in 1974 supported the Indian government's decision to give up the claim. He goes on to, there is a note prepared by a bureaucrat that talks about a meeting with the Chief Minister who hinted that he was inclined to accept the suggested solution. His difficulty was, however, he could not take the opposition into confidence without sharing with them the knowledge about the oil strike and convince it about the need to accept the compromise. And the Chief Minister had inquired whether the PM has done so. Interestingly though, this note says that the Chief Minister, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, also said that he could not be expected to take a public stand in favor of this decision by the central government due to politics. But the Chief Minister assured the Foreign Secretary that he will help keep the reactions at a low key and would not allow it to be played up. Now, these are the reactions that are coming back to haunt these two parties. So here's a chronology of how the claim over the island was given up and why. As I mentioned, by 1960-61, Jawaharlal Nehru had played down the issue. In 1960, the MEA though acknowledged that there were legal complexities over the island's sovereignty. In 1961, the AG of the country believed that India actually had a stronger case based on historical rights. But as we know, by 1974, after years of negotiations, decision was made to relinquish the claim. Indira government decided to cede control of the island to Sri Lanka, and this was formalized through the Indo-SL Maritime Agreement with a counterpart Bandaraike of the time. Now, several questions arise on why India didn't fight harder. After all, while the scale of the island may be unimportant, its location was certainly key. So this is an uninhabited offshore island in Park Strait. The marine resources, the fishing opportunities are key for Indians. It effectively forms a boundary between India and Sri Lanka and therefore could have been important. And what was the need to give up the claim so easily is the question. It lies northeast of Rameshwaram as well. As you know, we've highlighted that it has its own cultural and religious significance, but that significance was derided at that time. It's just 33 kilometers from the Indian coastline. And by comparison, it's actually double the distance from the northern tip of Sri Lanka. So actually was much closer to India than to Sri Lanka. Then what was the need to give up the claim, particularly because there was a long history and some believed India had a stronger claim historically as well. Now, political showdown has also, as I mentioned, erupted, and this is happening just ahead of phase 1 voting of the 2024 elections where Tamil Nadu goes to polls. Let me break down where all three sides are. So the Prime Minister, as I mentioned, is leading this attack, and he has said that the Congress cannot be trusted because in past it callously gave away this island to Sri Lanka. Remember, Congress's foreign policy faux pas, particularly under Pandit Nehru, have been something that the BJP has attacked for a very long time. The Congress has reacted to it, calling it selective pieces of propaganda and desperation before elections, while the DMK is asking why did it take 10 years for the BJP that has been in power at the centre to raise this finally. The BJP went on to say that the Kachchatheevu island was suffering due to Congress's deliberate negligence since it gave up the claim. The Congress says BJP statements are baseless, adding that they were made without references, while Stalin, the DMK Supremo and the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, has questioned this as a diversionary tactic of the BJP. He asked, in the 10 years at the centre, why was there no special scheme for Tamil Nadu? That's the real issue, is what the DMK chief is trying to suggest. Now, External Affairs Minister S Jaishankar made a huge claim that in 20 years, over 6,000 fishermen were detained by Sri Lanka and over 1,000 fishing vessels have been seized. Imagine the scenario. Basically, he's saying if this island was in India's control. Congress, meanwhile, accused the Prime Minister of giving a clean chit to China after Galwan tragedy where 20 of our soldiers died. While DMK spokesperson Manuraj S attacked the BJP, calling it a woeful and outdated political campaign issue, not something that they feel will resonate with the voter. Well, that indeed is the question we ask. Has the BJP and the central government, led by the Prime Minister, the Foreign Affairs Minister in this case, managed to put the Congress and the DMK on the back foot with this issue?
तमिलनाडु से आगे श्रीलंका के पहले एक टापू किसने किसी दूसरे देश को दे दिया? कौन था उस समय? श्रीमती इंदिरा गांधी के नेतृत्व में हुआ.
He says, my honorable friend from the DMK was just now talking about Kachchatheevu, the island. It appears to me that the DMK thinks that probably they can desperately cling to this issue and survive in Tamil Nadu.
When people are rejecting them again, they want a diversionary tactics. Their discrimination towards Tamil Nadu is well known.
We were never in favor of that giving away Kachchatheevu to Sri Lanka. In 1974, it is not the question. The question of giving away Kachchatheevu did not arise.
All right, let's go across to our guest joining us. Syed Zafar Islam is national spokesperson of the BJP. I'm also joined by Muralidharan Sivalingam. He's a political analyst, leans towards the DMK. SV Ramani, spokesperson of the Congress, is with us. Deepak Vora, former diplomat, with us as well. I do thank you for your time. Muralidharan Sivalingam, let me start with you. The DMK has for a very long time been projecting as if they were opposed to this decision of giving up the claim, and they have raised it from time to time. Don't you think this RTI reply kind of exposes the duplicitous stand of the DMK? Because in public they said one thing, while their party patriarch said another thing.
Rani, I'm a little surprised that you still believe in RTI. In the last 10 years, that's been completely diluted. So the replies don't stand anymore, and it's just another paper. And let me
but
come
the
back
replies
and answer.
are correct? No, are the replies factual or not?
See, today in the Arunachal, China has renamed some of the locations, 30-odd locations. We have no answer. In Sri Lanka, China is building a deep port, seaport, and another airport. We have no answer. And you want to talk about 1974 Katchatheevu, which Tamilians themselves don't remember what happened during it. In fact, Mr. Annamalai was not born at that time. I'll tell you about Kachchatheevu. Kachchatheevu was an island which was predominantly a Catholic island of converts. Okay, that's probably one reason why BJP want to invoke Kachchatheevu. Another reason I'll tell you, in 2008, it was Jayalalitha who went to Supreme Court and filed a writ saying that it needs to be revived. At that time, I think the senior counsel was Mr. Mukul Rohatgi, and he told the centre if at all you want to retrieve Kachchatheevu, you'll have to go to International Court of Justice or you have to go to war in Sri Lanka. Because that was a diplomatic decision taken at that point of time by Miss Indira Gandhi, who was much shrewder
supported
politician
by
than Mr. Modi.
Karunanidhi at that time.
Yes, he was the local chief minister. But Mr. Indira Gandhi is the one who took the decision because this
No, the question I asked you, fair enough, the history I've outlined, and I'm not denying you could have a slightly different perspective to it as well. The question I asked you was this, that actually DMK has in subsequent years, post 1974, raised the issue of this island as if they were opposed to the claim being given up. Is that then not duplicitous when your own chief minister signed off on it? And he actually sheepishly concedes that politically he cannot be seen as supporting this decision. That's the duplicity I'm talking about.
No, because it's wrong. Because DMK or ADMK, state chief minister, has no say in such issues. It's the center which decides. Center decides what is good for the country.
But did he politically oppose it or support it?
You will have to propose it or support this. When NEET came, you believe me, it was DMK who was the associate of Congress, so they had to support it. It's similarly like that. So when the state has no role,
so then why did it act like it was opposed to the decision later? Was it not for public sentiment? That's what I'm asking you. If it is real politic, then accept that it's real politic. But then don't raise it as DMK has.
I don't think so. It is only after the fishermen started having problem, both the state chief minister, earlier it was Jayalalitha, and later Mr. Stalin took up the issue. There's nothing wrong in it. Probably, its issues have, come out now. Earlier, it was not a great issue. It was like, fishermen.
I want to go across to the Congress party as well. S.V. Ramani of the Congress is joining us. The other question that, the Congress faces, because yes, ultimately, this is a diplomatic decision. It's about Indian territorial integrity and falls in the domain of the central government of the time. Now, the charge the Congress governments of the years have faced, particularly from the times of Nehru, is that he had scant regard for territorial integrity. You look at what he said for Aksai Chin, you look at what his government or subsequent governments are saying for even this island. But strategically, these are all bordering India and they should have been extremely important for India. These are foreign affairs blunders. That's what the charge against the Congress is.
Now, I want you to give me a few minutes without disturbing so that...
I'll give you some 1.5 minutes for your opening intervention.
No, you cannot do that. You cannot make a charge for 20 minutes and then say that I'll give
No, we haven't made a charge for 20 minutes. 1.5 minutes, please.
Please listen to me.
Yes.
Now, as far as your title is concerned, ceding, that itself is wrong because there was no ceding. As per the 27th January 2015, in which at that time when Mr. Modi was the Prime Minister, to an RTI which was replied by the government at that time, it very clearly says this agreement did not involve either acquiring or ceding of territory for belonging to India. Now, this is a document which has been provided by this government, number one. So, please change your title. There was no ceding as per the BJP government. Number two, now BJP directly or indirectly has been in power between 77 and 80. Then between 2008 to 2004, and then 2004 to 2024. That means 10 plus 6 plus 3, 19 years they have been in power after the agreement was signed. Now, why did not they raise this issue if they felt so much for the fishermen? Why did this Prime Minister, who has been a Prime Minister for 10 years, did not raise this issue and did not even know that such an issue exists? It is very unfortunate. It is very unfortunate that an IPS officer who has studied IPS, who has passed IPS and who has become a IPS officer in Karnataka did not know about Kachchatheevu till the RTA was raised. He didn't know for 45 years.
As your partner just said, he wasn't even born then. It's okay. You can give him a little bit of a leeway. But that's not the point. One second. That's not the point. It is India's institutional knowledge and memory. One second. Sir, 1 second. I don't want to speak over you. 1 second.
Come back to the Prime Minister.
1 second, sir. I don't want to speak over you. You are saying... One
The
second.
promise that he
I'll
made
take
50
your
lakhs to the
objection.
people has to come back.
Mr.
Why
Ramani,
this memory
Mr.
so
Ramani,
not
one
coming
by
back?
one, please listen to me. I'll
No,
give
no,
you
one
the
minute.
opportunity.
One
I'll give you the
minute.
opportunity.
Why this memory did not come back in the
Yes,
umpteen
I'll
number
take
of
that
visits he
objection.
made
If
in
that
the
is
last
your only
3 months?
objection, I'll take that to the BJP spokesperson. But I reiterate my question. What the impact of this revelation is, as belated as it may be, yes, you could argue the BJP is raising for political reasons too. It is a political party. But the impact is that the Congress, particularly led by the Nehru in the post-independence era, was very flimsy on giving up territorial claims, if not the territory outright. That's the impression. Yes.
Agreements between governments on territories is nothing new. Like what happened in 74 between Shrimao Bandaranaike and Prime Minister Indira Gandhi at that time was an agreement for negotiation of the international border. At that time, there was also another issue concerning 6 lakhs Tamil refugees who were suffering in Sri Lanka. So when the lines were drawn, it is very clear, and the RTI also very clearly says that I have that RTI, I can send it to you. It says that it did not involve, and the area in question had never been demarcated. So
yes, in fact, the RTI that I am talking about also says that Ceylon had de facto control over this island.
Listen to me. You have to listen to facts.
One second. But I am asking you the reasons given. The reasons given to give up the claim. They include things like Jawaharlal Nehru saying, I have little regard or I attach little importance to this particular piece of land. A bureaucrat is saying that, it's just basically rocks and nothing else. Are the reasons given right, given that this could have been a southernmost tip of India?
No, it is not in the southernmost tip of India.
It could have formed the border between India and Sri Lanka. But are the reasons given okay?
One more point I would like to highlight is, in the Article 5 of the agreement itself I am referring to. The agreement itself, it says that subject to foregoing, Indian fishermen and pilgrims will enjoy access to the Kachchatheevu as hitherto and will not be required by Sri Lanka to obtain travel documents. Even this has been a part of that agreement. So nothing was given up. The demarcation was done. It was found that the island lies on the other part of Sri Lanka, the other side of the line of Sri Lanka, and then Indian fishermen were protected, Indian pilgrimages were protected, and at the same time, 6 lakhs refugees who were suffering in Sri Lanka were given access to Tamil Nadu, access to India, and that was the major victory won by Mrs. Indira Gandhi, which gave a life of respect and which a life of dignity to the people.
Okay, I need to go across to the BJP spokesperson now. Please respond. Sir, 1 second. Just hold on. I have limited time. Syed Zafar Islam, the BJP, one, is raising this with an eye on politics or elections. Secondly, you're making such a hue and cry about this when at that time there were other nuances involved to why India may have decided to give up the claim.
See, there are two things which you need to understand. What is the objective of the press conference which has been done by the Honorable Minister Jaishankar ji?
Yes.
He very clearly articulated it that he wants the nation to know that how did the government at that time, the then government, gave up and ceded our land, which they could have easily fought with Sri Lanka, but they felt that it's a piece of rock, it's an island which is of no importance to the nation, something which was totally unwarranted. The argument given at that point by the earlier Prime Minister, Mr. Nehru, and then the then Prime Minister, Mrs. Indira Gandhi, actually ceded this land without thinking about the impact and without the concern of the fishermen. Nowhere in the document what the Congress spokesperson was talking about, nowhere in the official document was even mentioned about that they are protecting the life of the fishermen or giving
It is there.
the freedom to
It is there.
6,000
If he
people.
doesn't know
It
he
is
doesn't
nowhere
know
it is
about
mentioned.
it, he should not
But
talk
it-
about it.
but-
He should have the document in his
but
hand
that
and then talk
most,
about it.
let me just complete. But everywhere it is highlighted that it is we have the claim on that land, and we should not give up the claim. But still, they went ahead and gave up.
No,
this
the
claim
Congress's
and allowed
charges,
this,
Mr. Islam,
part
the
this to go.
Congress's charge is that you are picking
No.
and choosing. You are cherry picking the understanding of the government of the day on this issue. You are not also highlighting that they did, in fact, in the agreement, took care of the fishermen and the pilgrims.
Perfect. Perfect.
See, the issue is, which we are highlighting, that there are two anti-national parties. Anti-national in the sense they have always compromised with the national interest. Both
Yeah,
DMK
only we are-
and
you are
Congress
given
party.
away
We have
China's
repeatedly,
territory
we have,
only given a
we
free
have
chip to
repeatedly spoken about the. Shut up your mouth. Shut up.
Calm
I didn't
down,
interrupt
calm
you. I heard you for 25 minutes, 20 minutes.
No, but
I'm not here
but
to
I spoke
listen
the
to your
truth,
lecture.
but you are lying.
No,
Don't
I'm
do
not
that.
here to listen to your lecture. Please
Yeah,
keep
but
your
don't
mouth
lie.
shut.
Don't
When
lie
you
on
were
the TV.
speaking,
Speak
no,
the
when
truth.
you were speaking, I didn't interrupt
don't
you.
lie on the
Please
TV. I
speak.
never
Please
lie.
speak when
You
your
are
turn
lying.
will come.
I cannot permit you
I'm
to
not
lie.
lying. I'm narrating the truth.
Okay, one by one, please.
If your
One by
people-
one, please don't speak
You
over
party
each
has
other.
ceded
I
the
shall have
land.
to say
Doesn't
this or
mean
do
that
this.
you
One
own the
second, can I
entire
just have
country.
Mr. Islam with me?
You are telling lies. That
Mr.
you
Islam,
didn't-
30
you didn't
seconds,
fight
please
for that
respond.
land.
Are you
didn't
cherry
fight.
picking the facts or the circumstances
See,
of the time?
Not at all. No, not at all. Since this issue was raised, I think it was important for the people of this great country to know that how did they compromise with the national interest.
Why
Both
now?
Congress party and DMK was conniving with Congress party, and today Congress party is talking about the national interest. In fact, they are the one who has actually compromised with the national interest. This is what we wanted to let
But
the people
why
of
now?
this great
Why
country know
now?
even
Why
this
not in the
instance.
last 10 years
It's
when
a-
you were in power?
See, whenever the issue will come up, it will be discussed. It has no relation with the election. It has no election.
Come
has
on,
no
that's a
relevance
bit
here.
much.
It is
That-
not with
come
the
on.
intent of the
I
election.
would have accepted it if you
No,
had
that
said
is-
yes.
that is nothing to do with
we
the
are,
election.
We are want to raise it in times of election
But,
for the public. Don't say it has nothing to do with elections.
It is nothing to do with election, but it is important issue for the nation, and it is important for the people. When the RTI, somebody asks for the information, and when the information is in public domain, it is must. It is important for the people to know what is the what.
Let me
what
go
was
across
done
to
at
the
that point in
bureaucrat
time.
on
What
the
was
panel,
What was
the
the consideration?
diplomat.
Why they have not given priority and importance to the national interest? Why they have compromised with the national interest? Something people of India should know.
I
This is what
want to
we
go
have
across
highlighted.
to Mr. Vora as well. Mr. Vora, can India as a country look back at this agreement and the way it transpired and say, okay, maybe we put forward a wrong step and maybe we could have fought a little bit more? Are there those learnings as part of this?
Thank you very much, Ms. Gupta. May I compliment you? You're brilliant. I've just heard your exposition. You put it across better than anybody else could. I will not comment on what my colleagues from political parties are saying. We are not trained to do that. But let me give you the domestic and the international ramifications of what happened. Ma'am, there is a decision by the Supreme Court, and I'm sure that our colleagues are aware of this, that territory cannot be ceded by a government without reference to Parliament. This happened in 1960 when we wanted to give some Berubari property, some territory to Pakistan, and Supreme Court came down very heavily. Then we had to go to Parliament, and there was a constitutional amendment, I think the 9th Amendment. They've made it very clear. In the case of Kachchatheevu, ma'am, it was not referred to the people of India or to the Parliament of India. So prima facie, it's an illegal decision by whichever government was there. We are not concerned with that. Now, as far as cession of territory is concerned, 1933, there's a Montevideo Convention, although it applied mainly to American states, but it's been quoted often enough. That also says when one country willingly cedes territory to another, it has to be ratified by the constitutional authority of that country. That was not done in the case of Kachchhatheevu. So both domestically as well as internationally, the handing over of that island, however small, however big, was illegal. and can be reversed under international law. This is the diplomatic position. So if India is raising this issue and says, all right, we want to renegotiate this, everybody has done that. Ma'am, the United States, purchased Louisiana from France and Gadsden from France, all ratified by the ceding country. And by the way, Pakistan also purchased water from Oman. It was ratified by whichever was the constitutional authority in Oman at that point in time.
But otherwise, foreign policy-wise, are you surprised that some of the arguments given to give up the claim were what they were? Because that's really the bone of contention.
No, not at all. At that point of time, it may not have been strategically important for us. But today, with China messing around in the Indian Ocean and misbehaving, as it always does, it is extremely important for us, because then there's an issue of territorial waters and so on. So my position is, and I tend to agree with our colleague from the BJP, he's put it across very succinctly, that if this was a mistake, it can be rectified. My personal opinion is we should not have done it. Ma'am, why in 1974? May I just very quickly remind you, this is the year we had the nuclear blast. The smaller countries around us, we had just smashed Pakistan in 1971. They were worried that they would be next. So we needed to reassure them. We had the agreement with Bangladesh in 1974. We talked to Bhutan in 1974, let's settle the issue. We had Kachchatheevu, we were talking to Nepal. So we wanted to reassure all our neighbors that we had no ill intentions on their territory. That's the background.
Okay.
But can it be reversed? Yes.
It can be reversed. You very succinctly outlined the two illegalities involved, and I don't know whether the Indian government has the mind to take that to the international court. But the BJP as a party has asked the central government to do so. I have barely 2 minutes left. I'll give 30 seconds closing arguments to all of our panelists. Yes, Mr. Sivalingam, I'll come to you. Do you believe this can hurt the DMK? Would you concede it can hurt the DMK negatively? After all, Karunanidhi's stand comes to question.
I don't think so, Shivani. I don't think so, because people know what's the ground reality is. The ground reality is BJP trying to rake up this issue so that they can save some face from the flocking they're getting from China in Sri Lanka as well as Arunachal Pradesh.
Okay.
So this is all political gimmicks. It's not going to fly. In fact, post elections, when the results come, we'll know what Tamil Nadu has voted for.
Okay, Mr. Ramani, your 30 seconds. Congress government's historical blunders coming to light again, and Congress not really explaining the decision making. It's the questioning the timing, but nothing else.
No, there is no historic blunder also, nor it was a clear-cut agreement. So, and as I have a lot of respect for Shri Horaji, that it was not a ceding. Umpteen efforts by Mr. Modi to lure the Tamil Nadu people to vote for him. He realized that, people in Tamil Nadu feel that BJP is anti-Tamil, anti-Tamil Nadu and anti-Tamil language. So he has not been able to cut ice here. So he is trying to rack up an issue just for political purposes. It's not going to work.
Okay.
Tamil Nadu is going to give him 0 as far as Lok Sabha elections are concerned.
Mr. Islam, I'll give you the final 30 seconds. The BJP is asking, both in Tamil Nadu and otherwise, its government to see what can be done. But have you also not woken up too late?
Well, Shivani ji, see, our approach is very, very clear. All our decision is only based on few things. First, nation first is our policy of our government, is the policy of our party. And there is something which we have now come to know, and something which is important for the people to know. We must expose Congress. We must let the people of this great country to know how they have compromised with the national interest, how they have ceded the land, which they could have easily
fought. Will you walk the talk? Will you actually try to reverse this?
So let me tell you that, this issue has now been discussed. It is in the public domain. We will take the people's opinion, and if need be, the government of India will take appropriate action to whatever it deems fit under the circumstances.
All right, I'll leave it at that. I do thank all of our guests for joining us for this spirited debate. Moving on to the other big story we're tracking, and of course even that is building up to the 2024 elections. Now, Delhi's Rouse Avenue Court has sent Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal to judicial custody till April 15 in the money laundering case linked to the excise policy. During the hearing, ED sought 15-day judicial custody of Mr. Kejriwal, saying the Delhi CM is totally uncooperative. Before entering the court, the Aam Aadmi Party leader expressed his concerns to the media, saying the actions being taken by the Prime Minister referring to his arrest, are not beneficial for the country. Now, earlier on March 31st, top leaders of the India bloc, including Sonia and Rahul Gandhi, Sharad Pawar and Tejashwi Yadav, organized this protest against Kejriwal's ED arrest at Ramlina Maidan in the national capital. And Delhi Chief Minister's wife, Sunita Kejriwal, was also present at this Save Democracy rally. Now, ED has made some more remarks or revelations on Kejriwal post their continuing probe and questioning because he was arrested a few days ago. Revelations that are likely to cause some consternation within the Aam Aadmi Party. So what are those? Revelation number 1, that Arvind Kejriwal is giving false evidence against other members of the Aam Aadmi Party. The ED says that Arvind Kejriwal has given false, contradictory evidence vis-a-vis other members. When he was confronted with the statements given by his own party leaders, he called them confused. Particular example, he changed the stance on party member ND Gupta's actions and words. Arvind Kejriwal allegedly initially said ND Gupta is an active member of the party and is a member of Political Affairs Committee and has knowledge of the party functioning. But when confronted with the statement of ND Gupta wherein Mr. Gupta said the national convener, who is Arvind Kejriwal, takes such decisions, Arvind Kejriwal called ND Gupta confused. Finally, Arvind Kejriwal, and this is the big one, has reportedly told ED that Vijay Nair, who's one of the accused, did not report to him but to Atishi and Saurabh Bhardwaj. On being asked about the extent of his interaction and reporting to Vijay Nair, who's a key cog of this alleged scam, he said, Vijay Nair didn't actually report to me. He reported to Atishi and Saurabh, and his interaction with Nair was very, very limited. We're also learning that Arvind Kejriwal has now made some special demands while he is in Tihar for the next 2 weeks. What are these? Special diet for diabetic people. He wants home-cooked food. He has also asked for books, particularly the Bhagavad Gita, the Ramayana, and How PM Decides, which is a new political commentary by a journalist. He has also asked for necessary medicines that he can keep with himself. He wants to continue wearing a religious locket while in custody. And interestingly, he's also asked for a table and a chair. But I'm highlighting this because the main question Arvind Kejriwal has been facing is whether he can continue to run the government, as they're claiming, from inside jail as well now, from the ED lockup to Tihar now. But the larger question we're also discussing is this. Remember, the Prime Minister has kicked off his campaign, and the India bloc rally was also held 2 days ago. Is the opposition messaging, though, on the issue of corruption particularly confused? Now, why do I ask this question? Because remember, the Aam Aadmi Party is currently being seen with Congress, particularly people like Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi. Sunita Kejriwal sitting right next to Sonia Gandhi, for example. These are the people that Arvind Kejriwal accused earlier of corruption. On the other side, if you listen to the messaging from the Prime Minister, he has very clearly said that ED and PMLA all existed before he came to power, and they will continue to do their job, particularly against the high and mighty. The Aam Aadmi Party, remember, was the flag bearer of the India Against Corruption movement. Arvind Kejriwal was the face, and today he's seen with other parties accused of scams, including the RJD, including the NCP, Sharad Pawar faction, etc. While Prime Minister Modi has stated that the opposition is trying to use courts as a weapon to hinder ED's work, and that is being referred particularly for high-profile politicians, some of them arrested in the liquor policy case. Another message that is confusing for the audiences is that Congress earlier accused Kejriwal but has now changed its stance. This is something that even their alliance partners are asking today or questioning today. While Prime Minister Narendra Modi has actually said that the ED is returning the public's money, the people's money back to them. He said 22 lakh crore rupees have been seized in their governments, and 17,000 crore of them have been given back to the public that it was looted from. So as far as the battle over corruption is concerned, is the opposition tactics or optics failing to send out the right message? We'll take that forward with our guests.
हमारा विपक्ष जिस आरोपी को बचाने के लिए प्रयास कर रहा था, न्यायालय की दृष्टि में वो गंभीर आरोप है।
जब से आम आदमी पार्टी और कांग्रेस ने दिल्ली में चुनाव लड़ने का काम किया है, इन लोगों में एक ऐसी माहौल हो गया है भारतीय जनता पार्टी में, जहां जानते हैं दिल्ली में तो ये लोग सीट्स नहीं जीत पाएंगे और ईडी, आईटी, सीबीआई का इस्तेमाल कर कर उनको जो हिरासत में रखा जा रहा है दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है।
Let's go across to our guest joining us, China NC spokesperson of the BJP with us, Sujata Paul of the Congress party. Some more of our guests will be joining us in just a bit. Sujata Paul, let me begin with you. You even have somebody like Pinarayi Vijayan today questioning that when the charges first came out in Liquorgate scam, it was the Congress party that was calling Arvind Kejriwal corrupt, wanted him to be arrested. Today, very suddenly, you've changed your stance. So why should the public believe you when you say that this is political witch hunt or vendetta?
The public is believing us because they are seeing the vendetta of Mr. Modi, because Mr. Modi is obsessed with power, and that is why today we see this kind of power play taking place. Can you explain to me how is it that it is the BJP that took 60 crores from Sarath Reddy of Aurobindo Pharma and then says that, oh, he's become an approver, so all is well. But it is Mr. Kejriwal who is to be held responsible. But because Mr. Kejriwal has refused to go with the NDA and he's come with India, that is the problem that Mr. Modi has. You look at it, he accused Mr. Ashok Chavan of Adarsh scam, and today he has been sent to the Rajya Sabha on a BJP ticket. You look at Yediyurappa, who has been, he has been convicted in one case. And he has been accused he's now accused in a POXO case. So all the Bhrashtacharis, whether they are imports or the original ones, they are all corrupt in the BJP. But the BJP will say that when they were outside, they were corrupt, but now they've come into the BJP, so they are all well.
I get that. But my question was different. Yes. Mr. Sujata Paul, my question was different. Yes. You did accuse Arvind Kejriwal of manufacturing this scam. You did ask for his arrest. Congress leaders took credit for blowing the whistle of this scam. So that scam exists, right? According to you, and Arvind Kejriwal is responsible?
Let me come to that. That is exactly what I tried to tell you. Maybe you didn't understand. What I said was, when we talk about this whole matter, we accused him. And yes, we did. We expected the ED to actually take out facts. BJP's cupboard also started coming out. If we were accusing the Aam Aadmi Party, how is it that Sarath Reddy is in with the BJP?
Yeah. I'm going to come to China NCL. I'm going to give her an opportunity to respond on both of those points. The electoral bonds and the revelations they make, plus what happens to those corrupt or allegedly corrupt who join you. And Shubh Malhotra of the Aam Aadmi Party is also with us. I'll go to her next. Yes, China NC.
Firstly, Arvind Kejriwal, pretending to be holier than thou, has been involved not just in formulation of the excise policy, but in making sure that certain people benefited. Then you look at what proceeded. The beneficiary of the funds of this entire so-called liquor scam, which is not something the Bharatiya Janata Party is saying, which the honorable courts are saying, 338 crores of misappropriation of funds which under PMLA are spent on the Goa election. Now, if there are other AAP leaders also who have been in collusion with this excise policy change and have favored not just particular people but people who have benefited, there is a crime. You said the Prime Minister is obsessed. Yes, you're right. He is obsessed with the truth. He is obsessed with honesty and being a man of principle. He has fought the corrupt always, but he has no role to play here. It is the enforcement directorate, as per their records, where they have even said to the extent that Mr. Kejriwal did not even comply with giving them certain details, did not comply with the vis-a-vis the investigation, and we know that this entire case has been unearthed since October 2023. 9 summons and the proceeds of crime were used in the Goa polls.
That's the case. That will have to be established. That hasn't been established just yet.
And if you have so many AAP leaders who are so thick-skinned and who pretend to be this epitome of honesty and say that, oh, if anything happens, we will quit and we will resign, and they're doing just the opposite, which is only for the lust for power. Please understand that you cannot be absolved of your wrongdoing and pretend to be the victim when you're actually the culprit. And there is enough.
Can I go across to Shubh of the Aam Aadmi Party? One second. The same question also goes to the Aam Aadmi Party. I mean, look at the optics of these India bloc rallies. And this is not the first time that has come under question, because Arvind Kejriwal has been part of these rallies in the past as well. You know, you've got Arvind Kejriwal's wife, other ministers sitting with Sonia Gandhi. You would remember what Arvind Kejriwal said about Sonia Gandhi or other Congress leaders. You would remember what he said about other accused in scams. You've got the likes of Tejashwi Yadav, Sharad Pawar. You can question the BJP stance on corruption, but Arvind Kejriwal came from India Against Corruption. So is that not a compromise on your part too, and therefore you've lost your moral high ground to question anybody else on corruption?
No, why can't we question the BJP on anything other than that? Because, I mean, let me ask the BJP spokesperson over here, isn't it your Samrat Chaudhary, or leader of party in Bihar, who had tied a mureta on his head and said that until I remove this corrupt JDU chief minister Nitish Kumar from the position, I will not remove it. And now he is his deputy chief minister along with that mureta on his head. Pawar chakki piecing, Mr. Devendra Fadnavis had said, and now Mr. Fadnavis is sitting along with him, and both of them are, I don't know, not chakki piecing, but having meva together. So, you know, I mean, all the rhetoric aside, the rally that you're talking about, it was a coming together of leaders. It was a Mahakumbh against the dictatorial attitude of central government and weaponization of ED to bring down a democratically elected government, the government
Should
of
the public
Arvind
also
Kejriwal.
not think that this is also a coalition of the allegedly corrupt?
Let me just complete. I did not interrupt.
I did not interrupt. You didn't answer my question either. One second, you didn't answer my question. My question was,
let me complete.
aren't these the same people?
I'm coming
One
to
by
that.
one. Aren't these the same people that you accused of corruption and wanted action against?
Yeah, so I am coming to that. Fine, these might be the same people, but these are accusations. Okay, you yourself are using the word accusations, then we cannot be judge and jury over here and say that, oh, he is corrupt. No, it is an allegation. And I will tell you why this allegation.
Yadav's father,
the last 2 years.
The chief of the RJD,
You are not letting me speak. You gave ample time to the
I'll
BJP
give you more time, but
you are
one second, you've got to be honest with what you're saying. RJD is an alliance member of yours. Is the RJD chief Lalu Prasad Yadav accused or convicted of corruption?
No, so you can ask the RJD spokesperson when they are here. But I am here to talk about my party, and let me present.
What about your stand on corruption?
Let me present. No, what about the stand of BJP on losing Chhagan Bhujbal's file and closing his case and saying that he has not done anything? What about BJP stand on closing Praful Patel's case
allow me a
after he
rebuttal.
joined BJP? So let me just complete. What I'm saying is that this arrest without a shred of evidence has happened at this particular time to do two things. One is to deliver a body blow to Aam Aadmi Party at the cusp of elections, and the second, the scathing evidence. And not just India, the entire world should listen to this. The entire world should listen to this, that now Bharatiya Janata Party has been caught red-handed inside Delhi Assembly. AAP MLA Rituraj Jha presented scathing evidence of tearing away of democratic fabric of our country by Bharatiya Janata Party.
Okay, ma'am, you must relent now. Otherwise, I'll have to mute you. One second.
No, you told me you will give me time.
I've given you time now. You've had more than enough time. Same time as everybody else. 1 second, please. Shaina Insi, respond. No, I interrupt everybody.
No, you didn't interrupt.
No, I do interrupt everybody. Shaina Insi, please respond very quickly.
Shivani, you are moderating this debate.
Yes, very quickly,
Look,
but
it's
ma'am.
high time they stop playing this victim card. If they had nothing to hide, can you please tell me why Mr. Arvind Kejriwal from October 23 has not cooperated with the Enforcement Directorate? Why has he not given his passwords to them, to the agencies? Why has he not responded to the questions which the Honorable Supreme Court and High Court have raised? And he's crying conspiracy. Please, people understand, you cannot just pretend to be honest when you're most dishonest.
But
this
ma'am,
is not the
Shaina
Aam
NC,
Aadmi
can I
Party,
just
this
come
is
back?
The Bhrasht Aadmi Party.
The
You
question,
have Mr. Sisodia.
no,
and
one
Sanjay
second.
Singh
No,
sitting in
no
jail,
charges of
and
corruption.
still
One
you
second.
have
No
wanted to
charges of
cling on to your
corruption
seat.
have been proven
And if-
on the
if-
Aam Aadmi
if-
Party as of yet now. So I think we should refrain from acting as if the judgment
Look-
has been given. One second. Shaina NC, the question I ask of the
Look,
opposition
we are not
goes
sitting
to the
on
BJP
judgment,
too.
but
the
nobody
question
is
I
above
ask
the
of the
law,
opposition
Shivani.
goes to the
Post
BJP
2003,
too. You
the
are
Enforcement
claiming the
Directorate
agencies are working
Sumo Moto
against
make
everybody,
arrest,
but is
despite
that the
they
case?
Did not arrest. They gave him every chance to come out and speak.
Yeah, fair
and
enough.
reply.
I am not on
He
that
chose
issue.
not
I am
to.
not on that issue. I am
And
not
if-
on Arvind
if you
Kejriwal's
feel
guilt
you're
or
above the
otherwise.
law,
One second.
Why were policies
I don't know how
changed
she's
just
speaking
to
over
suit
you,
few people?
the moderator of the
Is
debate.
that not
One
a
second,
scam?
ma'am,
How
just
she
hold
has
on.
to
If
do
you
that?
feel- Can I just have Shaina NC with me?
Bharatiya Janata Party is questioning on behalf of the agencies.
Who's the moderator,
Then look
Shaina
up your,
NC or Shivani?
look
Who
up
is the
what
Can I just have
the
Shaina
statutes,
NC with me,
provisions are
please?
for the Enforcement Directorate and other agencies post 2003.
Yes,
They
Shaina
have
NC,
been working
I don't know if you can
independently.
hear
The
me.
Honorable
It
Court
seems like
question,
you don't have my
everyone,
link, but I
and
don't want
only
to
play
speak
this
over
victim
you.
card. It does not work.
Kindly answer my question. The question that goes to the opposition goes to the BJP too. You may claim the agencies are working against everybody else, but in practicality, there are no leaders who are within the BJP, certainly not big names, and no leaders who come from opposition parties into the BJP who have any heat over them. Mr. NC, Shaina NC, that was for you. What about your stance on corruption?
Sorry, I couldn't hear that question.
I'm saying that the agencies don't seem to be
See,
going for anybody who has
Yeah.
who has joined your party since.
No, Shivani, I think that's a very unfair assessment, because whether it's our Home Minister or our Prime Minister, they have always said that when there are cases which are sub judice, we're not going to sit here on judgment, but there's no question of any kind of political insulation for anyone. But having said that, all the names you mentioned, did they all skip summons? Did they all not cooperate with agencies? Were they above the
What
law?
logic?
Were they pretending to be this so-called epitome of
logic?
virtue that the Aam Aadmi Party claims to be, when it's nothing but the Bhrasht Aadmi Party? And it is very clear that why he chose to skip summons.
Okay,
I
okay.
think today's press
I'm on the
conference
larger
where
issue. I want to
Subhanshu
give 30
Trivedi
seconds to
spoke,
Sujata
he
Paul
sup-
as well.
he
Sujata Paul,
supported it with all the
corruption
facts
is
why
going to
the
be an
charges
issue
are
as far
serious
as
and why
elections
this
are
investigation
concerned,
has
and
taken
certainly
place.
the BJP, that is the incumbent, is making it a big issue. You must have seen or heard what the Prime Minister has said on agency action. He continues to repeat in this election campaign that the agencies will go after the corrupt, the agencies will go after the big names, will go after the high and mighty. He's owning it up as a badge of his
owning it as a badge. He's trying to tell you that he's going to misuse the agencies. Just like he has questioned the Honorable Supreme Court by saying that all those people who question the electoral bonds are going to be repenting it. Is he threatening all of us as well as the Supreme Court? But you know, when you ask us a question whether which party is coming with us and which party are we going with, well, this is a party with whom nobody should go, because this is the party whose national president was convicted. Yediyurappa, while in power, was convicted. Today he faces a POCSO case. So nobody should join hands with the BJP. That's very clear. But Shaina NC did say holier than thou. It's not how, it's thou, but she actually meant tho. So she's sending out a message to all those corrupt people. But tell me, why is it that when Rahul Gandhi ji spoke in Parliament, Modi ji said, "Mujhe nahi
Ma'am, the
dekna,
ED
isko
is
hatao."
returning
Mama
all your
Mitra,
black
I
money
don't
back
want
to the
see her.
common
Get her
citizen.
out.
Please don't
And Arvind
interrupt.
The
Kejriwal, put
ED
him in
is
jail because
returning
he's not
all your
coming
black
to
money
the
back to the
Hemant
common
Soren
citizen.
You are
doesn't
interrupting.
At least stand up for
I think the
agencies.
anchor,
But
ma'am,
that are
you're coming
working.
across as biased if
let
you're
him
not
stay
stopping her
out
from
because he's
interrupting.
going to join me. So all those people who joined the BJP will be out, but all the people who are joining the India Alliance, Mr. Modi is scared of them because Mr. Modi is going now.
Okay. To Shubh, the final question is this. the stance against corruption was your calling card. And no wonder Arvind Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party have won a lot of mandates repeatedly in Delhi. They've succeeded in Punjab, predominantly because the image was of an Aam Aadmi party, a common public's party, and also that you were not going to partake in the fruits of power, as they say. But has that message or image not been dented now?
Absolutely not. And I think nothing could be clearer after today, because we stand completely against corruption. And the biggest case of corruption of Bharatiya Janata Party has come across today when Aam Aadmi Party MLA Rituraj Jha presented scathing evidence with time, phone numbers, conversation documents. He has brought on record in Delhi Assembly for future generation to see how he offered ministership and 25 crores to switch to Bharatiya Janata Party and bring 10 MLAs with him. This has happened just today. And I think the world needs to hear the party that stands against corruption. Our MLA did not choose to sell his soul and switch over. We are not the Narayan Rane and we are not the Ajit Pawars of this world. We have, and not just that, he was also threatened that if he doesn't give in, then what has happened to a sitting Chief Minister of Delhi can happen to a small person like him. Now, what is the common person to think of themselves like that? That is the sitting Chief Minister of Delhi.
The Aam Aadmi Party keeps
it
making,
is not a claim,
either of
it is
their
on
MLAs
record.
being
It is on record.
or of threats to join the NDA. None of those proofs have even have been given in public domain
They have
either.
been submitted.
They haven't been submitted. We are waiting for those tapes also.
The number has
so
been
these
read
are
out.
political
The phone
allegations
number
at the end of the
has
day.
been
Which way will the public decide remains to be seen. But corruption certainly will be one of those top issues. I have to slip into a very short break. I do thank our guests for joining us. On the other side, we'll get to some national updates.
Co-powered by
Prime Minister Modi, who began his poll campaign in Meerut yesterday, raised the issue of Kachchatheevu Island yet again. Hitting out at the Congress and the DMK, Prime Minister said that the Congress government in 1974 gave away India's Kachchatheevu Island callously to Sri Lanka. He said that the fishermen continue to face problems due to Congress's decision till today. Politics soon erupted over the matter with the DMK and Congress, saying that the BJP was on purpose raising this matter at the time of elections. BJP hit back at the opposition, saying that the people of India will never forgive them for compromising the territory of India. Remember, Kachchatheevu is a tiny island located between Sri Lanka and India, and the island was ceded to Sri Lanka by Indira Gandhi's government in 1974. Over the last few years, increasing number of Indian fishermen have been arrested by the Sri Lankan Navy, and hence the island has become among Tamil Nadu's most hot-button political topics. With that now, we have some reactions into this story. Let's first have a look at those.
तमिलनाडु से आगे श्रीलंका के पहले एक टापू किसने किसी दूसरे देश को दे दिया था, कब दिया था, कहां गई थी, क्या ये भारत माता नहीं थी वहां, क्या वो मां भारती का अंग नहीं था, और इसको भी आपने तोड़ा। और कौन था उस समय, श्रीमती इंदिरा गांधी के नेतृत्व में हुआ था। कांग्रेस का इतिहास मां भारती को छिन्न भिन्न करने का रहा।
भारत के मछुआरे मछली पकड़ने के लिए समंदर में जाते हैं, इस द्वीप की तरफ जाते हैं तो इन्हें गिरफ्तार कर लिया जाता है, उनकी बोट को कब्जा कर लिया जाता है। ये कांग्रेस के पाप का परिणाम है कि हमारे मछुआरे आज भी सजा भुगतते चले जा रहे हैं।
When people are rejecting them again, they want a diversionary tactics. Their discrimination towards Tamil Nadu is well known. EAMS Madurai is not even started. All the projects in Tamil Nadu has not even started. Only foundation stone, only one brick is there in everywhere. This kind of discrimination against Tamil Nadu, they want a diversionary tactics. For that, they are raising this issue, which is in 1974. Government of India, headed by Mrs. Indira Gandhi ji, has signed an agreement called Indira Gandhi Sirimambo Bandaranayaka agreement. In that time, to save 6 lakh Tamils, mind it, Mr. Modi, 6 lakh Tamils, their welfare to those Tamils from the garden areas of Sri Lanka has.
As you can see, this is not just one prime minister, whether it was Pandit Nehru or whether it was Indira Gandhi. This very dismissive attitude, this little rock, this small island of no importance.
Welcome back. In the wake of Mukhtar Ansari's passing, AIMIM chief Asaduddin Owaisi paid a visit to his family. Following this, SP leader Dharmendra Yadav is also scheduled to do so. Now, this has sparked a debate with the BJP expressing concerns over increasing number of political figures offering condolences, labelling it as appeasement politics. Owaisi, though, on his part has remarked that Ansari's demise, while in judicial custody, places responsibility on the state government for his death.
बातचीत किया हमसे इतना बड़ा वाकया सरकार उसकी जिम्मेदार है तो हम उनको